The country is observing the National Child Protection Week, which is commemorated in South Africa annually to raise awareness of the rights of children. The campaign began in 1997 and also aims to mobilize all sectors of society to ensure the care and protection of the child. According to the Department of Social Development, more than 30,000 child abuse cases have been recorded over the past decade. The department launched Child Protection Week on Sunday in Delft, where some of the country's most shocking abuse cases have been reported this year. Now, to talk to us about the National Child Protection Week, we are now joined by Shamien Rugunandan from Child Wellfare South Africa to tell us a little bit more. Good morning to you, Shamien. Now, first and foremostly, for those that don't know, if you don't know yet, what is Child Protection Week and why are we celebrating it?
Child Protection Week is basically the awareness-raising campaign that we join and partner with the Department of Social Development, as you're aware, in order to raise public awareness of this scourge, so to speak, because it is a time where we look at protecting children and in all the, in all ways from abuse and neglect.
Now, this is also a very critical week. We just heard in that insert before about the circumcision period. Now, that's also very close to your heart, isn't it, in terms of protecting the child?
Yes, I think all forms of abuse are important to protect children from. And when you see children are losing their lives in a form of, a traditional circumcision, it's not that we have anything against the way tradition is practiced. But when it comes, for example, to harm a child's life, then one needs to be aware of these situations and circumstances and put systems in place that can protect children. So we do have a program called the Boy Child, where we look at raising awareness of children, and especially boys, and teaching them how to protect themselves and how to make decisions regarding medical or traditional circumcision and what are the pros and cons, and they take the decision themselves. So because you need to empower children, you need to teach them the correct ways of doing things.
Now, as an organization, Child Welfare, what are some of the challenges that you face overall in South Africa?
I think the rise and the increase of cases that have been reported on a daily basis. And for us, the most challenging thing is the nature of abuse that's happening. I think you've seen on the news many reports of horrific instances where children are actually murdered and raped, and there are some situations that are even too graphic to speak on the air. But this shouldn't be a situation that prevails. When a society becomes so unsafe for its children, one needs to be very wary of how do we go about to protect children from their own parents, for example. There are times that parents are the abusers themselves.
Yeah, we've heard and seen a number of cases, especially in the media, but what can be done or possibly be done to protect children at all times?
I think it's very important to have parenting courses for parents, that know when, most parents challenge us to say we spare the rod and spoil the child. And, they can say very well, that is good, that we can stop disciplining children, but where do you draw the line? Because parents sometimes, they forget to, when you discipline, that there are certain rules that you can perhaps pat a child on his bottom, but you can't smack a child across his face. And where do you draw the line when a parent is upset, for example, and then it goes too far, and then you have children with broken limbs and continued abuse of children. So I think it's important to have these rules, these parenting rules, and to know how and when to protect children.
Now, for this week coming up, Child Protection Week, what is your message to South Africans?
I think overall the message is, let us work together, because on our own as a child protection organization, unfortunately, many cases come to us after the child has been abused and neglected. And what we are trying to do is create a greater awareness through prevention programs. We have a fantastic program called Isola Bantwana, which is the eye on the child, where we go into communities, especially in deep rural areas, where children don't have access to protection skills and parents, some of them don't have parents, childhood households. And we teach volunteers, we train volunteers on how to care for children and how to identify signs of child abuse. And it's a very successful program. We've trained over 1,500 volunteers. So that's our way of preventing children from coming into the system and being at risk.
And it also lies with education and educating parents, as you indicated earlier on.
Yeah.
So if people want more information and they want to get in touch with you, how do they reach you?
Basically, we have a national office, which is the Child Wellfare South Africa, and our number is 011 452 4110, and we can give them the name of the child welfare societies in the provinces. We have over 150 affiliates in the provinces that can attend to these cases.
Is there any special events that you have planned for this particular week coming up, or not?
We actually partner with the Department of Social Development and urge people to wear the green ribbon during this time. And also each province is planning their own event. For example, during Child Protection Week, which is a launch in schools of pamphlets and posters and brochures and talks at schools, so and even drama and anything to highlight this week.
So what does the green ribbon signify?
The green ribbon is basically it stands for life. The green stands for life, and we protect children and saying that we preserve and nurture and develop and choose to protect children.
As Wiseman once said, that the children are our future.
Yes, they are.
Shamien, thank you so much for joining us here in studio and telling us more about Child Protection Week.
Okay, thank you for having me.
That was Shamien Rugunandan. She is from Child Welfare South Africa, telling us more about the National Child Protection Week and some of the challenges that they face as an organization. Now, we do believe that we have some comments from you on the Twitter feed at SABC News Online. Let's take a look. This one from Kusatu today. Child Protection Week. Kusatu supports an act by all and sundry to reject any form of child neglect, abuse at all. And Department of Basic Education, they tweet, let's all unite to fight child maltreatment, neglect and abuse. Hashtag Child Protection Week. You can join that hashtag, and you can also send us your comments here on SABC AM Live. Now, caring communities protect their children. Report child abuse, says My Fairy Glen. Hashtag Child Protection Week. And let's see if there's more. There's one from AECDM, says, wishing our friends in South Africa an informative and conducive Child Protection Week. Bobby Bear says, awareness campaigns in school teaches children how to recognize abuse and how to report it. Hashtag Child Protection Week. You can go there and follow that particular link as well and post your comments on SABC News Online. Datafin says, mindful of our vulnerable South African children during Child Protection Week. Protect our children. And some of the comments on the Twitter feed. And of course, that also reminds me of Bring Back Our Girls, the Chibok girls in Nigeria. We got to stand by together and see that we bring them back safely. Do not bring them in pieces. Bring them in peace.